Hey guys, my name is Katie and I'm a pilot and I work in corporate aviation and I am here to show you what my typical day in my life looks like at work. There are a lot of different options in aviation and I have really loved working on the corporate side of the house. So come along with me and I'll show you what my typical work day looks like, and maybe this is something that you're interested in the future. So this day is pretty easy. It's about 6 a.m. until 2 in the afternoon and I'll be home about like 2:30, which is really not a bad day at all. So on this particular day, our flight was taking off at 7 a.m. So I get to the airport about an hour before, which means I'm up at about 4:30 or 5 getting ready and then getting all of the chores done around the house. We live on about an acre in town, which we love because we have chickens and dogs and all that kind of stuff. So my day normally starts with letting the chickens out, feeding the dogs, and then making some coffee for myself because it is, in fact, 5 in the morning. I like my coffee with milk and raw honey, and I also put sometimes some supplements and stuff in there. And I have this cup that I've used forever that is just the right size to fit into airplane cup holders. So even though I don't really like to drink out of plastic, it's not very good for you, I need to hold on to this one because it actually fits in the cup holder of the jet. I also like to add a little protein to my coffee just to kind of start the day off with some protein, and it also kind of regulates your blood sugar so you don't get that crazy jittery feeling, which nobody likes. Even though this is an early morning, I actually really enjoy this time to myself in the morning with the dogs and the sunlight coming over the mountains. It's just really peaceful and a really nice way to start my day. On this flight day, normally I get back around 3 or 4 in the afternoon, so I usually pack a lunch and try to bring some healthy stuff, and I bring a bunch of water just because you get a little more dehydrated when you're up at cabin pressure altitude all day. So we use filtered water because we're on a well, and then I always add like a little bit of pinch of Celtic sea salt because that really helps with hydration, which is nice in the summer months. I am really big into holistic nutrition kind of stuff, so Celtic sea salt has good minerals and everything like that in it. And then I also do 2 Brazil nuts every morning because this actually gives you your full daily dose of selenium, which most people are deficient in. And that's just a super easy way to supplement it. I always would rather supplement something with food than a processed pill or something like that. So one of my little weird hacks. We're in the process of trying to safely integrate the German Shepherds and the chickens. We're trying to teach the German Shepherds that herding the chickens is like their job instead of them trying to eat the chickens. The yard is obviously very overgrown, so no judgment, please. This is a very realistic day in the life. But eventually we're going to weed all these. There's planter boxes underneath all of these overgrown weeds. And we have irrigation, everything already on here, which is really cool. So right now we're just doing chickens. And then I think next year we'll get the garden going, which is kind of a lot of work, but one little thing at a time. So I have 5 full-grown chickens. We get about 4 eggs a day. And then we actually have 15 baby chickens, which are now kind of at the point where we can put them outside. And hopefully the flocks will integrate well. I'm a little nervous about that, so I wish us luck. So while I was out letting out the chickens, Justice started screaming bloody murder. He's the bigger German Shepherd, and I came back and realized that he had had some kind of run-in with a critter that's put some spikes in his nose. I don't know if it was a porcupine or if it was actually like a plant that he ran into when he was trying to get a cat. I don't know. It's unclear. But he was a very good boy. We did a little bit of dog surgery, got him all squared away, and he is doing just fine. He actually really only had one thing in his nose that we got out, and obviously he's really good and handled it really well. But I felt really bad for him, though. That was how he was starting his day. But he's like the typical German Shepherd that just is an absolute tank and is kind of getting into something 24/7. So this was typical Justice. So he was totally fine after this. He went back to sleep and he is doing great, but he is just a little bit of a tank sometimes. And that's just how it goes with German Shepherds. So I leave the house about 15 minutes before I need to get to the airport, drive in, and I was honestly pretty proud of myself that all that was able to be accomplished without being late for work. The sunrise is just so pretty over the mountains. I do not think I will ever get tired of this view, and I absolutely love living in the Pacific Northwest. So today we are flying the Citation CJ4, which I'm not typed in yet because the first available class is actually in March of 2025 for an initial type right now. So I'm just flying this with my boss, and he's really great about just kind of allowing me to do as much as possible so I can get familiar with the airplane, doing the whole pre-flight and all that, just so I can be really prepared when I go to class in March. So this was just me working through the interior pre-flight. We also obviously do the full exterior pre-flight. We do flight planning, weight and balance, takeoff and landing distance, and all of that. that. It's just us. It's Part 91, so we do all the data ourselves. We also do all the loading of the baggage. We put ice and coffee on the plane and stock the snack drawer and stuff like that. So that is one thing with Part 91 that a lot of people say they don't like. I don't really mind. I really don't think it's much of a problem to kind of do the baggage and all that stuff. It just really doesn't take very long. For this flight, we were planning on cruising at 41,000 feet, and I forgot to sync the FMSs before this, so I had to put the data in twice. Did I mention I have not been to type school yet? We were going to North Dakota on this day, and this was Stanley, Idaho. You can see Redfish Lake there. The mountains were just so beautiful. I think this was about 27,000 feet while we were climbing up to 41, and it was just incredible. On this day, we were spending about 2.5 hours on the ground, so I try to get my steps in. You're sitting a lot in the airplane throughout the day, so it's good to get out, get the blood moving. But if you're familiar with North Dakota, it was very windy. But something I love about North Dakota is every single time I've walked on this airport road, someone has stopped me and asked me if I need a ride, which is just very, very typical of the people of North Dakota. They are so nice, and it is just such a small town vibe, and I love it. I've really enjoyed flying the CJ4 so far. It's just a beautiful airplane. I love how fast it climbs and the power and performance that it has. It's been really, really fun first jet for me. We can fit 9 people in the back if one person sits on the toilet, which is not as bad as it sounds. It's like got a cover, and it's like a whole area with a seatbelt and everything. So I don't know how they decide who gets to sit on the toilet. Maybe that's like the new person. It's their first day. The weather today was absolutely beautiful. We had a huge high pressure system over the whole Pacific Northwest, which means calm winds, clear skies, good visibility, light turbulence, and easy VFR flying. So it was a beautiful day. And the flight back to Boise took about 2 hours, which put me back in my car just after 2 p.m. So my work day was 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. and I flew about 3.7 on this day. So very nice day, very easy day, and it's nice to be able to get back and kind of have time to run errands and do whatever else you need to do with your day. So I just got back to the car. I'm still at the airport, and I have about a 10-minute drive home, but that is my work day. So we started about 6 a.m. It is an early morning, obviously, but it really doesn't bother me. I mean, I'm done at 2 o'clock, which is super nice, and I have the whole day in front of me, you know. I am flying again tomorrow morning at 9:30. I'll probably be back at like 1:30 or 2:30. So again, a very short day, and I will sleep in my own bed tonight and tomorrow, and that'll be my whole week. So I'll fly Thursday and Friday of this week. And I did have a 1-hour Zoom meeting on Wednesday. So that is my entire work week as a corporate pilot for this week. Now every week can be different, you know. There are occasionally times that I will overnight, but at my company they always leave it to us as a choice. So if I want to airline home and then go back and get the plane, I can. The company I work for is really good on quality of life, and they really want their pilots to be here for a long time. There's good open communication, and the chief pilot and I will just talk about our schedules and be able to do kind of our lives on either side of work. So I really value that. I love aviation. I really enjoy flying the Citation and the Pilatus. I'm really excited to learn the Citation and go to school. And again, it's just a company that really takes care of you, you know, like I'm gonna be able to fly the plane for almost a year before I go to the type school, and which is gonna be super nice. So it's low pressure, and it won't be as difficult as like a 121 training or anything like that, because I'll have some experience in it. So this is just my day. Hope you guys enjoyed. I really appreciate you following along. I just love aviation so much. Obviously, I'm super nerdy on it, and I kind of just enjoy like sharing the pleasure of my work week with you guys. So if you want to see anything else, put it in the comments. I also am new to YouTube, so I really appreciate the feedback on some of the videos. I know in my first vlog, a lot of people said to take the captions off because the AI was making them crazy, which it was pretty funny if you haven't seen that one. So go check that one out about going to Salt Lake. It was saying weird things. But give me some feedback on these videos. You know, I obviously my full-time job is not YouTube, but I just enjoy kind of sharing aviation with everybody. So if you feel like there's a way I could make these videos better, just leave it in the comments, and I'm open to the feedback. So thanks for coming along with me. Hope you guys are having a great week.